I'm getting old enough, I have to look where my feet's going. If you're not there yet, you will be. What I have to say this afternoon is something that I have kept kind of quiet down through the years. For some reason or other, I don't know why. But when I was in service, I was just like other boys. I was many of them I was drafted. World War II was getting pretty rough in places. And I was in Fort Carson, Camp Carson, Colorado at that time. Some of you may have been there sometime during your service. But I was en route to another place. I had been in Mississippi and I had joined with a group of volunteers, I'll say it that way, of discontents. In the service, if you happened to be stationed somewhere that you didn't like, it was a group you didn't like, you was discontented. And that was my problem. I wanted to be somewhere else. And so President Roosevelt, some of you may have heard his name called, sent out a notice to the Army post in the United States and in the Caribbean and in the Pacific, calling for volunteers for a dangerous mission. I thought, well, here's my chance to get away from this bunch. And so I signed up. And that was, I hadn't heard any more about it. It'd been 2 or 3 months since I had put my name on that list. In the meantime, I was sent to Fort Carson with my outfit. And we were sent out on a firing range. And I was pulling the target. This firing range was about a 4 or 5 foot square hole in the ground above a man's head, counting the logs and sandbags that went along with it. And my job was pulling the target after someone hit it, and I'd put paste a piece of paper over the hole, stick it back up in the air. I'd been there some 25, 30 minutes doing that, and someone hit my target, and I passed it and stuck it back up. The instant it went up, an audible voice said to me, "Step over." It was a voice I couldn't ignore. I stepped. The instant I stepped, a bullet came through that would have hit me between the shoulder blades had I stood there. And of course, people look at me funny when I tell that, but whose voice did I hear? Can't argue me over it. I heard the Lord's voice. The nearest person to me was over 200 yards away. And it was a voice that I'd never heard before. It wasn't part of our outfit. And so I guess I should have started at the beginning. I was saved when I was 14 years old in a summer revival. And back then, we studied the Bible a little differently or something. But I had read somewhere that the Lord said He would take care of us. And I took Him at His word. Well, what I'm saying is going to take a minute or two to bear with me. But the Lord took care of me in World War II. Now, this outfit was a dangerous mission. I had no idea what it was. No one else knew what it was that was telling it. It was President Roosevelt's group. We didn't belong to nobody but him. And this bunch of volunteers was called shortly after this incident at the firing range. We was called to go to California and got on a ship. When we stopped sailing, we was in India. And we were sent out in the middle of India to a British Army camp, if you could call it an army camp. It was no buildings there. We had tents. But we was on the banks of a river. And it was as large as Cumberland River in size and width. But it was 12 feet deep. And being a farm boy, the Army decided I needed a mule to carry the ammunition. And that might understand a mule. Nobody understands a mule. But anyway, the Army gave me that job. When the mules came in, we had about 200 mules in a small corral, just crowded in there. Sarge says, boys, get your rope and go get you a mule. Well, most of these boys are New York boys. They didn't want no mule. So they was kind of standing back, hesitating. I thought, well, I grew up on the farm. What am I waiting for? So I go in, I get me a rope, and I go in the corral, and I start right down through the middle of it. Every mule that turned his head away from me, I walked on by him. And I got way down in that corral, and there's an old mule standing down there looking me in the eye. And he was just staring at me. I walked right up face to face with him. I reached out, rubbed him under the jaw and chin. Of course, the mule's like that. Then I rubbed him around the ears. Oh, he was enjoying it. So I put the rope on him. Well, there came a time shortly after that we had to cross that river. And I only had 80-something pounds on me. Besides, I had to rope feed the mule. I couldn't swim very well. I was a weak swimmer. And it worried me. How was I going to get across that river with a mule and 80 pounds on me? And lo and behold, I had to back the mule off of a blind bank into the water. He wouldn't go in. He just flat out refused to go in that water. But when I got him backed out over this bank and he fell in, I went in with him. And we stood on the bottom looking at one another. I just thought to myself, oh boy, you can stand here, I'm going up. And so I did. I went up and I was close enough to the bank that I could grab a tree root. And I had to pull the mule's head up out of the water. That mule never made an effort to swim. He flat out refused to swim. I called some of the other boys there, an officer in charge, and we got the mule out. So me and this mule lived in Burma as one of Merrill's Marauders. I don't know whether you ever heard of us or not. We've got movies and books and a few things. And if any of you want to see them, I got them up at the house. But anyway, this mule flat out refused to swim. He refused to go across the river with me. Why? Why wouldn't this mule swim? Every mule swims, but that didn't. I think the Lord didn't aim me to go out there in the middle of that river. But anyway, we went on into Burma, and we got into a place over there and got in behind some Japanese, and we set up for a battle. And being the man with some extra ammunition, I had the reserve mortar ammunition. They let me guard the radio. Me and my mule was standing guard at the radio. Well, I started to dig me a trench, foxhole we called them. They was, you could get down about a foot, 18 inches deep, and big enough for you to lay down in. But before I got mine started, I just had it outlined on the ground. the Japanese opened up with their artillery. The first round hit down in the jungle out of sight of me. But I could tell from where the muzzle blast was to where the shell landed that I was directly in line. It went through my mind, oh Lord, I'm next. And when I thought that, this mule had been standing to the side. When that went through my mind, he swung in front of me, the shell hit him and killed him. Who turned my mule around? Well, needless to say, that ended me and my mule. But the next one got my hearing, and you people here know that I hear very little. But the Lord was taking care of me. He said back there in the scriptures that he would. And he did. And some of you know that our record shows that we was expected to have a 86% casualty rating in our unit. We had an 87. Out of 2,740 men that entered Burma, there was 200 of us left. And I was one of them 200. The Lord looked after me. I'm sorry I took so much time, but just wanted to tell you